Chapter 7. Our Town. The public bus after school is crowded, and someone's been eating too much garlic. My grandfather has been complaining the whole way home. He is not a fan of middle school. He says it's boring and a waste of time, especially gym. But it's the textbooks that have really riled him up. He waves his science book at me. Can you believe it? Not a word, not a footnote, totally glossed over. What? I ask. Me! I should be in this book. The bus stops and kids shuffle off. My grandfather stares at the textbook. How can they not mention Sardsky? Probably because Sardsky is a quack, a voice behind us says. We turn around. It's the goth kid. He only takes the bus once in a while. He usually gets a ride from an older kid in a beat-up car. A quack? A quack, my grandfather sputters. Who are you? The kid introduces himself. Raj. He looks at me, a long tuft of black hair flapping over his forehead. I'm Ellie Cruz, and this is I start to say, and stop myself. My cousin, Melvin. My grandfather glares at Raj. What do you have against Sardsky, anyway? My science teacher says it's quacks like Sardsky that give real scientists a bad name. Bad name? Sardsky's a respected scientist, my grandfather protests. Raj shrugs. Well, my teacher says he's just another line of Chartlands looking for the fountain of youth. The bus brakes squeal. This is our stop, I tell my grandfather, pulling him after me. I look at Raj. Nice to meet you. He nods. See you around. My grandfather glowers at him as he passes. Not if I have any say in the matter. I cast my leads, my mother announces when she walks into the kitchen. Let's order takeout to celebrate. She goes to the drawer where we keep menus and starts rifling through them. How about Thai or Burmese, she suggests. Or, there's a new Korean barbecue place that I've been dying to check out. I don't need any of that stuff, my grandfather says. If you try it, you might like it, she cajoles him. A belligerent look crosses his face. I don't want to try it. I like Chinese food. It's reliable. You can walk into any Chinese restaurant and know what you're going to get. All of this talk of Chinese food has made me hungry. I'll take a wonton soup, I say. My mother sighs. Fine, she says, and a little of the excitement goes out of her voice. When my mom returns from picking up the food, we settle in on stools on the counter. My grandfather digs around his carton suspiciously. This doesn't look like the mugu gan pie I usually get. This looks spicy. You know I don't like spicy foods, Melissa. It's regular old mugu gan pie, Dad, my mom says. My grandfather takes a bite, delivers the verdict. It's not spicy, he says. Good, my mother says. I was really worried. He says. Did you ask for extra soy sauce? Yes, Dad. It's in the bag, she says, rolling her eyes at me. Well, in other news, the kids I cast as Emily and George are amazing. My grandfather's head snaps up. You're doing Our Town? That show is a snooze. He's right. I've seen it before and not much happens. It's basically just about these people who live in a small town called Grover's Corners. My mom likes to stage it because it has a big cast, so lots of kids can get a part. My mom starts lecturing him like he's one of her students. Excuse me, but Our Town is quite possibly one of the best ever plays written about the totality of human experience. Too bad it's so boring, my grandfather snarks. You have no idea what you're talking about. It's an amazing play, a hallmark of American playwriting. You just don't have any flair for drama. My grandfather yawns widely. The phone rings and I leap up to answer it. Bonjour, my dad says in a hearty voice. I take the phone into the hallway. Hey, Dad, how's it going? I'm tired of chasing Jean Valjean every night, but I'm not going to complain. He's got the part of Javert in a touring production of Les Miserables. He's been on the road since August. The play is a big break for him, but it doesn't feel the same without him around. My dad's the one who stayed home with me when I was little so that my mom could get her teaching degree. He says trying to keep a toddler entertained was the best acting experience he's ever had. Where are you, I ask. Iowa City. Do they have a pool in the hotel? Yep, indoor. The toilet's been getting clogged up again, I tell him. My father groans. Ugh, I'll take a look at it when I swing back through. Even though he doesn't live here, he always takes care of house things for my mom. I miss you, I say. I miss you too, he says. My grandfather says something loudly, and my mother shouts back. Their voices carry into the hall. It sounds like there's company, my dad says. Grandpa's over for dinner. Don't tell me. You're having Chinese, he says in a dry voice. How did you know? My dad snorts on the phone. That old man never changes. I look back at my grandfather in the kitchen. He's slumped in the chair, his long hair brushing his shoulders, his shirt hanging off his skinny body. I don't know about that, I say.